Okay, so today we're going to be doing a shoulder strapping for an overhead athlete. So when we do a shoulder strapping, notoriously, obviously, we want to create a great deal of stability in the shoulder. And especially for an anterior instability, we want to put the shoulder into internal rotation. Now, what often happens in that idea of taping is we actually end up losing a lot of overhead capacity, which for some sports is a big detriment to what they're trying to do. So that would include your AFL, your basketball, your throwing athletes where they need a lot of overhead range available. So for those people, we still keep them in internal rotation, but we give them a little bit of abduction. This ends up giving us a lot more overhead capacity. So I end up sitting them in abduction and internal rotation. That still gives us enough anterior stability to allow them to get their hands over their head. So starting as we do with our standard shoulder taping, we go through. Starting as we do with our standard shoulder taping, we are going to use our 100mm fixamole, starting in the middle of the chest, coming over the top of the shoulder, straight over through to the base of the scapula. We'll then grab our rigid tape and we're going to do 3 anchors that are straight over the shoulder and finishing on our fixamole there. 3 strips overlapping, but this gives us a nice firm anchor for our strapping. Now, at the start, we want to come on a 45-degree angle over the top of the deltoid, wrapping through that groove of the bicep, ripping that one there, and we'll repeat in the opposite direction. This one here, just want to get wrapping around. Beautiful. What we want to do from here is we want to repeat the anterior strips. So we want to go front to the back, and always front to the back. So for both of our supports, we want to go front to back. Now the idea of this is we cover that whole humeral head, so making sure that the tape crosses over and supports the front of that humerus, which is obviously the part of the shoulder that we're trying to support. Once we've done that, we then come on to our 75mm hand tearable tape, and we want to come just over the front of the shoulder, make sure that adheres through all the way around the bicep, and then finishing at the back. Now again, we'll just repeat that one more time. This time we don't have to go all the way around the bicep. We just come straight around and then finishing up at the back again. Then we'll lock it all off with our rigid tape, and that'll come straight over the top. Similarly to how we do our original anchors. Beautiful. And then to finish that all off, we use our fixamole just to tie up all the loose ends and make sure everything's fastened nice and securely. So then when we start sweating and putting our hands over our head, that tape doesn't come off. We repeat that at the front and at the back, making sure we cover all of the parts of the skin where we think the tape might lift. So what should happen from here, we should still be able to get all the way overhead, but as we try and come into external rotation, there's a nice limitation at the front there. So external rotation limitation, but we can still come straight up overhead.